As you know, 2 days ago, Utica Police began an investigation into the disappearance of 9-month-old Levon Wameling. Since then, we've been extensively searching the area. We've interviewed family members, neighbors, friends. We've yet to turn up the young child. Today, I'd like to update you briefly on what we've been doing. We had members from the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children came from Virginia. There's 2 investigators here. They've been here. They will continue to be here to help us. The FBI has been here. Extensive membership from the New York State Police. We can't thank them enough. They've been here as well. We have searched that area. We've checked with neighbors. We've yet to find anything. We're here to make an appeal to the people that live in the neighborhood. Please check your backyards, your sheds, your abandoned cars, abandoned buildings, anything on your property that you think could hide something or someone. If you come across anything that you find suspicious, please call the Utica Police Department. I'd like to introduce Levon's mother, Amy. She'd like to make a brief appeal to the public.
I would like to ask anybody that's out there, if you know where he is or if he's alive or dead, just please call the Utica Police Station so I can put him to rest. Just please, don't be scared. Just if you know anything, just please contact somebody.
I'd like to introduce Chief Williams.
I just want to acknowledge all the agencies that have been a big part of this investigation. Over the past couple of days, we've had the help of the FBI, retired investigators now working for the National Center for the Missing and Exploited Children, the State Police, the District Attorney's Office. It's these partnerships that are helping us through this investigation. My officers have been working long hours, and we will continue to work hard until we find the baby. Thank you.
That's it. Thank y'all for coming.
Yes.
Is the father cooperating, helping in the search at this point?
The last we left with the father, he asked for an attorney and no longer wanted to speak to us. So at this point, we've had no further communication with the father at this point.
Do you consider him a suspect in this case?
Well, based on the information that he's told us, we find it hard to believe that a parent would wait 2 weeks to not notify the police. So he's obviously, based on the information he's given us, we have a lot of concern.
Is there something specific that has you appealing to neighbors to look in their yards and outbuildings?
To us, it's more of a extended search by having the people that live in that area kind of help us out, because they're going to know their properties better than we are, and they may, by chance, come across something that they know doesn't fit in either a yard, a vacant lot, a nearby building, and it's just another set of eyes and ears for us to helpfully, find something.
What should they do if they do come across something?
All we're asking is that if they do see something, immediately notify the police, stay away from it and give us the opportunity to get there.
How far out are you requesting this? Just in the city of Utica, or?
Right now, it's in that immediate neighborhood, and we're branching out.
Has there been anything that's, giving you some direction as to where to look specifically?
There is, but we just don't want to get too much into the investigative efforts here, because we just don't want to tip our hand. It could hurt the investigation.
But it would be helpful if people within that, say, mile radius took the time to search.
It would be, yeah.
At this point, are you leaning toward he's alive or dead?
I want to remain optimistic, but with any possible abduction or missing child investigation, we all know the longer time goes by, obviously the concern grows.
What kind of roles are these other agencies playing with the FBI and the National Center for Missing Children in this investigation?
Just to start with the two retired investigators that currently work for the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children. They're trained investigators, both in doing coordinated searches as well as investigative matters. You know, it gives us the ability to, they don't come in, they don't, you know, blankly take over the investigation. They're there just to assist us, and they've been fantastic. I mean, what they do is they basically help us maintain a checklist of things that we should be focused on, and they've been there. And just from talking to Lieutenant Sedanov to the Criminal Investigation Division and all his supervisors, we love working with these guys. They've been fantastic since they've been here, and they continue to offer us different suggestions and investigative suggestions where we need to go.
Will we be seeing, you know, massive flyers go out? We've seen them in action prior in other missing children's cases where they, you know, they distribute flyers, there's national bulletins put out, that kind of thing. Are we going to see that kind of effort in this particular case?
Yes, right now there's volunteers from the local National Exploited Children's Center. They have, and they're continuing to pump those out.
Does anyone determine the time frame that the district attorney alluded to yesterday, after which, I mean, it can't go on forever, after which a missing person, especially a child who didn't disappear on their own, would be declared dead, although obviously that's not the outcome anybody wants.
I say this, we still have a lot of investigative legwork to do on this case. And I'm not willing to say we're there, to say this kid is deceased. Hopefully that's not the case. If and when that comes to a conclusion, that would be done jointly with the district attorney's office and all the partners that were, you know, they're helping us with this investigation.
The mom who just spoke, obviously she's in a very fragile condition. Has she been able to give you any information that might lead to some sort of hope as to what might have happened to the baby?
I don't have the specific details of the interview between her and the investigators. I will say this, she's been helpful and she is cooperating with the police.
But Chief, since this story broke, I think the public is finding his story, Mr. Wameling's, a little fishy. What extent do you guys believe verbatim everything he's told you, and what extent do you think you'd be looking at other things that may have happened here?
Here's the thing. I mean, we have a problem with what he says. There's no question about it. And when you think about it, here's a guy who waited 2 weeks to bring forward the fact that his child's missing. And he doesn't bring it forward to the police. He brings it forward to his parents. And then the reaction is they don't even come to the police immediately. Instead, they go to an attorney's office rather than the police. Then finally they come our way. So I think actions speak louder than words, and I'll let you guys come to the conclusion with, you know, what you think, as well as the public.
Have there been any past actions by this father as far as dealing with a child that might have thrown up some red flags?
Not that I'm aware of, but not to say that isn't the case, but we're still investigating it. Yeah.
Yesterday, the DA was saying somebody knows what happened to this child. We know you're unable to talk to the father anymore. Do you think someone other than him, do you think his parents have any idea what happened? Any other person other than the dad would know?
I don't know, but I do agree with that statement. There are people out there that probably know what's going on, and hopefully the more this investigation goes forward, I hope that someone has the conscience and a shred of decency to come forward and help us with this.
How credible is his time frame of when the child disappeared? Do you think it was at that time, or do you think it was prior? And were there sightings of the child with the child before he claimed to have been missing?
You know, it's tough because in this investigation, we're talking a time period he says that the child's missing is at midnight when he allegedly climbs into a window to, you know, being locked out of the house. Usually there's not a lot of people on the streets at midnight. So getting back to the question about do you find his actions suspicious? Yes, we do. Until he can explain satisfactorily to us that, you know, they aren't suspicious, then, you know, we have concerns.
Is it possible a child has been missing longer than 2 weeks, or do you think 2 weeks is about right?
We think we have a date narrowed down, but we're not certain.
Does it correspond with that 2 weeks that he is telling you?
Roughly within that time frame.
Are you leaning towards any charges being filed here, or?
like any arrest, I have to have probable cause, and we're not there yet. If and when I do, I can assure you that with the district attorney's office, we will not only file charges, we'll make an arrest.
Are you at liberty to say if he gave you a reason that he waited 2 weeks to say anything?
He hasn't given us a understandable or satisfactory explanation why it's, he waited 2 weeks. So
So the search is active, so, I mean, do you have police officers out there now with the K-9 units? I mean, how vigorous is this?
well, one of the issues we have is that we haven't had the best of weather for one, and the other issue is that we got to be careful with using these dogs. They do tire out after a period of time, and it's not like we can keep the dogs running all day long. We'll continue to search tomorrow, and we're going to follow through and with our investigation well into tonight. So we're not giving up.
Yeah, the weather probably has an impact on the scent that they're able to track and that.
I got to say, the dogs have been remarkable, even with the weather. It's just that the elements are just not favorable.
Did they track anything, like up to a point and then stop?
I don't want to get into the specifics about their tracking and the search itself. There may be a point in time where we can release that information.
Chief, you said his explanation for why he didn't report it, he didn't find it, or whatever words you used. Can you tell us what it was anyway, so we could just let people know what his answer was, even if it is unbelievable?
He sticks to a story that basically what we've already told the news media, that he's locked out of the house, leaves the child temporarily. The climate.
Julian just asked you if he gave any explanation for why he waited 2 weeks, and you said he didn't find his story believable, or whatever words.
Not a satisfactory answer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Could you give us what his answer was?
I don't know the specific answer he gave to the investigators, but just the rundown that the investigators gave me about the case, it's not a satisfactory explanation of what happened to this.
And have you told him that he has to stay in town, not to go anywhere?
I can't make him do that. Okay.
How has the public's reaction been so far? What have you seen, what have you heard, what kind of phone calls are you getting?
They've been extremely supportive. I know right now there's citizens that want to form their own search teams.
And you
And
don't advise that?
Well, right now, I have the police manpower to do that with the outside agencies. There could be a point in time we could utilize civilians, but at this point, we're comfortable with the police officers that we have now.
Are you guys allowed to just search someone's backyard, like in that surrounding area? I'm sure there's property laws and warrant issues, but you guys can't just like wander on someone's backyard and search their sheds or what we appealed to them earlier.
I guess it would depend on the circumstances and where we're searching. So that's pretty broad, question. So.
But I mean, you were saying earlier you appealed to people, search your backyard, search your sheds.
Yes.
Can you guys just walk into their backyards and their sheds and searching for them? Or?
We wouldn't do that. Obviously, we would ask for the cooperation of the resident themselves. We don't want to surprise anybody being on their property, and we don't want to feel like we're an invading force going in there. But I think decent citizen that would want to cooperate with the police would have no problem with us, coming on their property.
Yes, what is the mom's name? It's Amy is her first name. Is it common spelling, Amy?
Amy.
And what is her last name?
Warning. W-A-R-N-E-Y.
Okay.
W-A-R-N-E-Y.
Have you searched any bodies of water, and if not, is there a plan to do that in the future?
At this point, my understanding is no, but that doesn't mean when we expand our searches, we won't be.
Is that her only child?
I don't know.
Is that his only child?
Don't know.
When was the last time she saw the baby?
I don't know. I know she's gone away for some treatment. I know the investigators would have that answer better than myself. I don't have that.
Ballpark, how many other sites have you looked at?
The only thing is I don't want to get into specifics of the search at this point. At some point, we may be able to release that.
Has anyone offered any reward money at all? Or has there been discussion about it?
Not at this time. Not to say that can't be a possibility.
If I could add one last thing, thank you, Chief. One last thing is, there's been phone numbers out there. We've asked people to call. What we've decided to do is use the Missing and Exploited Children's phone number, which is 1-800-LOST. THELOST. So if anybody has any information, it's manned 24 hours. Although we're here 24 hours working on this case, we're always available to answer the phone. So please, if you have any information, please call that number.
And just one last thing, I'd like to thank the mayor, the city of Utica, Robert Palmieri. Not only is he the mayor, you know him as our public safety commissioner. He's been extremely supportive, whatever our needs are during this investigation, and I just want to thank him.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks.